Hi there, I'm Travis from SoulRemedy.org, and today I wanted to talk about the Stream of Miracles Retreat, which is a yearly retreat that me and my wife Tasha do every single year down in Peru next to Cusco. So this is a very special retreat, and after a couple of years of going to Peru every summer, we decided that we wanted to start bringing groups there, and we wanted to do something a little bit different than what other groups were doing. We wanted to do something that was very close to our hearts, and it was very special to us, and give people a slightly different experience of Peru. So this trip, just to give you a little background in case you haven't heard about it or looked into it before, we do it every summer down in Peru, and most of the time we stay with one of our best friends and somebody we consider our most important teacher. Her name's Leslie Myberg. She has a nickname La Gringa. So we'll stay most of the retreat at her house, actually, which is in front of Temple of the Moon, just outside of Cusco, next to another temple called Sasquatch. And Temple of the Moon is one of my favorite places in Peru. You know, we spent a lot of time in the past going to all these different temples and old cities and ruins all over the country, and this is always one of my favorites. It has all these beautiful carvings and deep caves, and there's just something very powerful and very unique about it that is very close to my heart. We also spend a little bit of time down in Cusco itself. Our teacher Leslie has a hostel called Casa de la Gringa, which is one of my favorite places in the world. Whenever I stay there, I meet the most amazing people. Just everyone staying at the hostel is just wonderful. And I've made so many friends just hanging out at that hostel. So it's really awesome being able to stay part of the time in the city, because you actually get to experience a little bit more of the local culture. You know, you're not hidden away in a retreat the whole time. You do get to interact with some of the locals, you get to go to some of the local markets, and you also get to try some of the local food, which is amazing. And I really think experiencing some of the culture down there can be really powerful as part of the retreat, because I think just traveling and experiencing other cultures and other ways of thinking and living can be a powerful way to grow and heal in itself. So we spend most of the time though up at Temple of the Moon, and we do a couple San Pedro ceremonies with Leslie. She's a San Pedro shaman, and she's been working with the medicine a long time, and there's actually a couple books written about her because she has a very unique way of doing ceremony, and just people that work with her often get the most powerful results I've seen out of any healers. We also work with an ayahuasquero named Kush who lives right next door to her, and it's really convenient for our ceremonies that we do a couple San Pedro ceremonies with Leslie at her house, and then we walk next door and do a couple ayahuasca ceremonies with Kush. And besides these plant medicine ceremonies, we also get to work with a tribe called the Q'ero. And the Q'ero are very dear to my heart. They don't work with plant medicines, but they were part of the Inca Empire, and a lot of people consider them to have the most traditional and authentic practice in South America, because when the Spanish came, the Q'ero fled into the mountains and hid for 500 years. And so they weren't being indoctrinated with the European culture and Catholicism. They kept their ways of living intact and their spiritual practices intact. And they were part of the Inca Empire, so when we work with them, we actually get to learn some of the practices that the Inca would have worked with. And those have been passed down unchanged for, however long, really long time. So we get to work with these different medicines, and I think they're all complementary and teach you from different perspectives. And we group them together in a way that we found was very effective. So we actually the first ceremony is going to be a San Pedro ceremony with Leslie Myberg. And she does her ceremonies during the day outside in nature. And this is really a way for you to connect with the world around you and to bring new love and deep compassion into your heart, and to really open your heart and find healing through that. And so we spend a lot of time in her garden during the ceremony, and after people get comfortable with the medicine, we go on a little adventure to the Temple of the Moon and some other small temples that are scattered around her house. There's actually a condor temple, a frog temple, a monkey temple, there's a San Pedro temple, and all these different beautiful places that have their own unique energy and just this artistic feel. They look like these rocks that grew out of the earth in the shapes of animals and sacred symbols, and it's something that you can't really see anywhere else in the world. and they have this powerful energy that when you're working with a medicine like San Pedro really opens up to you in a deep and very special way. So we started with the ceremony with Leslie, and the reason we start with San Pedro is because it's a little less intimidating than the ayahuasca, and it's also very grounding and brings a lot of love and light into your being. So we're starting the retreat off with that foundation of connection to light and love. So after we do the first ceremony with Leslie, we do a couple ayahuasca ceremonies with Kush. And Kush has been working with ayahuasca for 47 years and is the most gifted ayahuasquero that I've personally worked with. He's also just one of the happiest guys you'll ever meet. Everything he says, he just starts laughing. And he's an indigenous local Peruvian, but he speaks pretty decent English actually, which is great for people that don't have very good Spanish skills. So you can still communicate with the curandero and learn directly from him, and he loves teaching people. He loves talking to people and connecting with the people that come to visit him. He's just an awesome guy to sit with, and he's assisted in ceremony by his wife and 3 apprentices. And the 5 of them make beautiful, gorgeous music together. And there's something unique about their ceremonies that I've never seen anywhere else. You know, they do deep, powerful, focused healing work, but they also bring this celebration of life into their ceremonies, and this deep joy and love into their ceremonies that's really infectious for everybody else attending. And I really love that Leslie and Kush both really pamper you during the ceremony and try to make you as comfortable as possible so that you can focus on going deep with the medicine. To give you an example of this, you know, we're sitting with Kush and you start to get cold, somebody brings you a new big blanket to make sure that you're comfortable. You puke in your bucket and they actually bring you a clean one right away to switch that out for you. If you stand up and start walking to the bathroom, one of them will walk over and just take your elbow to make sure you're steady and help walk you to the bathroom just in case you need help. Even if you look steady, they just want to be there, so at any moment if you need anything, you have all the support you need. And after we do those couple ayahuasca ceremonies, we do some ritual with the Q'ero tribe. We do limpia cleansing, where they use condor feathers to change your heavy and dense energies into light energies. And we also do a special offering to Mother Earth and to the mountain spirits. Those are the main spirits that the Q'ero work with. And this offering, you know, everybody comes for the plant medicines, but I personally think that this offering is probably the most powerful ritual within the whole retreat. And it's something very special that a lot of people never get to experience. So we make this offering, it's super beautiful mandala to all the nature spirits. And you put all your prayers for healing, prayers for abundance and prosperity, prayers for your family, prayers for anything you want into this offering. And I'll tell you something, every time I put a prayer into one of these offerings, it's come true that year. And the Q'ero are probably the most gifted healers I've ever seen. You know, they don't need the plant medicines to do work, they're just insanely in tune and in touch with the world around them. And they can do some amazing things, and they're the most caring, humble people I've ever met, and I really appreciate that humbleness from them, because that's something you don't always see with other healers, especially ones that are so gifted as them. So after we've done the first San Pedro and a couple ayahuasca, and we've done work with the Q'ero tribe, we go back to working with San Pedro. And the reason we do this is because San Pedro is so grounded and practical that it really brings all the pieces together from all the previous ceremonies in a way that you can understand and bring into your life in a practical way. And this is the perfect way to finish the retreat, because you have so much clarity on what you need to do when you get home from the retreat to bring that healing and magic into your life. So during the retreat, we have all this powerful medicine work. We do give you a couple days off in between to rest, because you need to recover and think about your ceremonies, integrate things a little bit in between. And so during that time, we have a little bit of time just to rest at the Temple of the Moon, which is incredibly beautiful. We have a little bit of time to check out Cusco and have some good food, but we also get to go see a couple other temples. Sometimes we have the opportunity to see Satsui-Woman. We always go to Pisac and check out the local market, and we also go to this animal rescue sanctuary where they rescue condors and pumas and alpaca and all these local animals, a lot of which are endangered. And by going to this center, we actually support them rescuing these animals and protecting endangered species, and we get to spend time connecting with these animals. So you actually get to have a condor fly over you, and this is considered a blessing from the condor, which is the most powerful animal spirit in the Andes and really revered throughout the Andes. So all these things come together to build this really unique and powerful experience, and after the retreat we always offer an optional extension to go see Machu Picchu, because even if you're not doing a ceremony at Machu Picchu, this temple has a specific energy that is healing just to visit. And you can walk through the city, and especially if you try to be mindful about it, you can really find deep healing and inspiration just by connecting with the energies of the temples in Machu Picchu. And so this retreat, is something very dear to my heart. We actually stay at the place where me and my wife were married, and actually at the place where we conceived our first child together. And it's my favorite part of the year. Every year we always feel like we're going to our second home and visiting our second family, because Leslie and her two twin boys, Mark and Simon, they're like family to us, and they always treat us like family. And we don't spend our whole year in Peru. We offer this retreat once a year, so everybody that comes on the retreat, I just feel like we're family by the end of this trip, and it's something very special that you don't see on a lot of other retreats. You're not in isolation in a hut in the jungle eating rice and potato every day. We have really great food, we have nice beds, and we work on building community and bringing love and compassion into our lives. And we do a lot of powerful deep healing work, but we do it in a way that feels very adventurous and very caring. And we try to bring that into the retreat because I feel like it's a little bit easier to bring it back into your life at home. And we also like to really build personal relationships with everybody on the retreat so that they know they're supported when they go home. If they need anything, they can always contact us and talk to us, and people that live close to us can come visit us. And we just like to all support each other and really focus on building a close-knit community, using plant medicines to empower ourselves and grow and heal. And I'm just excited for this next retreat and for everybody who's going to come on this retreat with us. If you ever have questions about visiting Peru and you want to come down with us, let us know and we'll give you all the info. We'd love to have you. Visit us at SoulRemedy.org. I'll talk to you later.